My name is Tiffany Daniels, as you all know, and excuse me. This is another episode of Spilling Tea. So we're going to go over a few things real briefly this evening. First of all, I wanted to cover a couple of things. I'm going to do a shout out real quick to the real Laura B on Twitter. So thank you very much, Laura, for providing the information. Couple of things that stood out to me on the JD disposition that he did here back in November. So we got those out today, just a little bit ago. I'd say about an hour or two ago. And yes, a couple of things stood out. First of all, God, A.H.'s lawyer. She's kind of a real piece of work. So she kind of starts off right off the bat with Depp trying to answer something and her interrupting him. Then his lawyer tries to say, "Will you please let my client answer the question?" And she alleges, "But he runs on and on." Really? Really? Because what that sounds like to me is that you don't want the answer. Because you know this is going to get out in social media, like it did. And you don't want it to hurt your client. It's also a bullying tactic as well, an attempt to confuse him and kind of make him stumble over his words a little bit. Now, if even with anxiety, if you're kind of an old campaigner or you've been doing this rodeo for a while as he has in his case, you're going to see through the nonsense. And I do enjoy his little clap back. He doesn't tend to clap back a whole lot, but every once in a while, his inner sass catches hold of him. And he just had to say, I imagine probably with a smirk, "Oh, do I? I'm sorry." And she continues on. Later on, he says, "I'm sorry, what did I do wrong?" Not a damn thing. But whatever. Obviously, you wouldn't use these tactics if you're afraid of what the witness, the person doing the dispo, has to say. Another thing that came up is this new spin on the narrative about the donations. Her lawyer was trying to insinuate that he paid her the $7 million in order for her to do the donations due to the alleged abuse. That is literally not what it says in the divorce settlement. What? What? That is literally not what it says. What it says is that she was going to do the donations because she didn't want to be portrayed by the media as a gold digger. That was the entire reason. It had nothing to do with what she was alleging against him. Makes me wonder, do you think the public's going to forget? Because we'll dig up the receipts if we have to. We're real good at digging up receipts. Excuse me. Brahma cat invading. Say hi, Key. Say hi. Aw, he's shy. He okay, kid. He okay. Anyways, besides from that little interruption. Blech, long day. Besides that little interruption, that was the couple things that really stood out to me. These people obviously don't deal in logic. They don't deal in facts. And they love to reinvent history. Just like their media friends at the Hollywood Reporter. You know they're going to be running with that now, right? Like, they're going to see that and they are going to run a story about it. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Okay. Besides that, so let's get into a couple of things that stood out in the documents in regards to discovery. So what really stood out to me is that her lawyers is stating that it is above a broad the scope, it's too broad of a scope to bring out the donations. No, it's not. It's actually not. Now, why is this? It goes to credibility. It goes to credibility to her claims if she claims that she made this donation out of the goodness of her heart and then she refuses to show the receipts. Because if she is lying about having actually donated that money, what else is she lying about? So, it is absolutely relevant. It goes to the credibility of AH's claims that she made in the Sun op-ed. Another thing, other than that popped up on there, was in regards to her past relationships, in particular with Teza, the 2 arrests for domestic abuse against her former partners. Again, she's trying to say it's too broad. I believe in one case it was even an invasion of her privacy. Really? An invasion of her privacy. Really? The fact of the matter is, those again go to credibility. If you have a history, that is documented in regards to your behavior, then I'm sorry, but that's relevant. It's relevant because it goes to show that you can not be considered credible if you're accusing abuse when you have engaged in abusive activity in the past and it's actually out there. You can dig up the articles and find them out there. So, sorry dear AH, but your past relationships, just like his, are relevant, or neither of yours past relationships are relevant. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I'm sorry, but that's how it goes. As far as medical diagnosis, again, it goes to credibility on both sides. So if she's digging into his mental health and she's all like, but you can't see mine. But you can't see mine? No, honey, that's not how the game is played. That is not how the game is played. If you wanted to keep your medical information under wraps, then going after his mental health might have not been the best route to go. Just saying. So, that's kind of my perspective on things. Basically, to sum up everything that I read today, it was along the lines of, well, I can ask for all of these things. I should have all of these things. But he cannot. Because she's ambipants. And what she does shouldn't be brought out into the open. What she does shouldn't be relevant to the case. Because she's just this innocent little angel who's never done anything wrong in her entire life. I'm sorry, honey, you opened the door when you started digging through his entire life and started bringing it into the court. So, discovery will go towards the credibility of the claims you made in that op-ed, which makes it 100% relevant. He's not suing you over abuse. He is suing you over lies. I would call it slander. You went out to ruin his entire career. You are alleging things and pulling things out of his past, but he can't do the same thing in order to show just exactly how credible you are. Spare me. Please, spare me. Sorry, dear. Now, that's all I got for this evening, folks. Now, as always, we don't get too many views on this channel, and the few views that we do get don't always stay due to YouTube. So please don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget the comments. Please don't forget to subscribe. Now, this is kind of a plea for the few other creators that have subscribed to my channel. I do kind of only have this phone, that's why I don't have all the fancy things that some of your all's channel has. I have a laptop, but it's a little ancient, and it takes at least about 5 minutes to load a web page. It's almost like living back in the 90s, but I would maybe at some point like the opportunity to get on live with one of you. I am on most of your all's Twitter under the Lady Autist, capital T, capital L, capital A. If that's something you would like to do, I would definitely enjoy doing that with one of you. So Les, Stevie, Shelby, Rob, just hit me up. Alright, folks, it's been a good one, and I hope you enjoyed this evening. You have a good one.